even though it is just, even
What?
though none of that would make sense in the first place.
Nope. All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Mahou Shoujo Ore.
Oh, you're gonna go to the nice one before you go to the messed up one, huh?
This show is silly. It's so silly.
But see, that's the type of show going into it. I already knew it was going to be silly. I already knew it was going to be ridiculously silly.
Like it's so silly to where I'm like, that's dumb. It's not funny. That's dumb. I loved reading the synopsis last time, or two episodes ago. So basically, the main character's a girl, and the guy she has a crush on gets kidnapped by these giant muscular dudes that have squirrel heads. And something happens, and she ends up, something happens. I think she just comes home from school, and there's a Yakuza guy kicking her fence in. And he's like yelling at whoever's inside because I guess they need to pay. They need to pay them for something. It's basically the main character's parents are like on the run from the Yakuza because they're not paying the money back. The main girl talks to him. He ends up inside, and then he's talking to the mom, and they have like this history because her mom used to be the mascot for the for the mafia, and used to help them fight monsters. And I guess that's how they used to pay the mafia, but the mom's not doing it anymore. Then you start seeing in the news that these little squirrel guys are like, they have two forms. They have a little cute squirrel that looks stupid, like physically, like it looks like it can't think of anything. And
I got the googly eyes and looking kind of brain dead kind of thing.
It just and you're like, oh my god.
So
you're like, I can't communicate to you.
The only way I can
communicate to you is like show you food or something, huh?
They're like the squirrel from Ice Age.
No, because you can see like he's like plotting. He's like, I'm trying to get this acorn to somewhere safe, and like you can see that. Like you look at this squirrel, and you're like, do you have any brain cells? Like, like what is your purpose? Like, you're like, squirrels like nuts, right? And you hand him a nut, and he's like, huh? And you're like, oh my god. So. This so they have two forms. Basically, when the three characters are talking on the news, you see a reporter talking about something. Oh, I think he's like either interviewing a pop star or something like that, and like a squirrel shows up, and then like it cuts to them talking, then it cuts back, and there's more squirrels, and it cuts to them, and it cuts back, and then there's like squirrels taking people away, and they're like, oh no! So then he convinces her. He tries to convince her to become a magical girl, but then she finds out that one of the people getting carried away is the guy she has a crush with. She runs to the park where they are, tries to save him, and by then they've transformed into the big muscular dudes.
Wait. The girl or the squirrels?
The squirrels. So now there's like these big, just walking towards this portal, and then she's like, no! And she tries to save him. It doesn't work. Then he convinces her to to take the power of the magical girl. She ends up transforming into this big muscular guy. And
do they explain why it has to be a big muscular guy?
Yes.
Why?
Because little girls aren't strong and can't fight in a real battle.
Oh my god. So they actually took a logical standpoint, even though it is just... Even though none of that would make sense in the first place,
nope.
They're actually going to be logical with
They're
it.
like, no, we're going to be logical about this a few things. So then she's like, tries to fight him, gets her butt kicked, and then She's like, I need a weapon. And he's like, here. And hands her like a pipe or something like, or like a gun. And she's like, no. Like, she's like, wait a minute. Things are going, like, what about a magical stick? So then he throws her a magical stick. And then she's like, hey. And nothing happens. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, it's a magical stick. I'm trying to shoot magic. He's like, it's not magical. It's just a decorative stick. And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And he's like, just beat the crap out of him. So she starts bludgeoning the dudes. It gets like super dark. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this show?
Oh, crap.
So then she rescues the guy that was getting captured. And he doesn't talk. Like, the only time he talks is when he's singing. Like, he's a weird character. Because he's like a pop star. So, it's like, he's either singing with this, like, Adonis voice, or he's silent and, like, kind of timid. So, she rescues him, and then he goes, and then, like, he's kind of, like, glaring at him. Like, thank you for saving me. And, like, not saying anything, but you can see it in his eyes. That he's just like in love. And she like, okay, go home. It's not safe here. And he kind of like timidly walks away. And he's turning around and be like, thank you. Takes a couple steps. Thank you. Takes a couple steps. Thank you. And I'm like, I get this is a Japanese joke. I don't get it. But I'm like, okay, so he's like really, really appreciative of being saved. And he also has a crush on the guy. So I'm like, okay. Her best friend, the main character's best friend, ends up having a crush on her.
Wait,
and
her
then she,
her or her as the guy?
Her is the her. But then, because she sees that the main girl needs help, she also forms a pact with the Yakuza guy, and then she turns into a big muscular guy so she can help save the day. It's...
Oh... I'm not even sure. I no, just no.
I don't know.
Just like, no. Let me guess. Are you going to continue following this one?
It's too silly. It like last period. That's silly and funny. This show, I'm like, that's just like, I'm like, okay, how are they going to solve this weird situation with their logic that they're doing now? And I'm like, they're like, oh, we're going to do this. And I'm like, that's stupid. I'm like, I get it. I get your joke, but that's stupid. So,
oh, geez.
Yeah, this show, no, I'm sorry. I can't. They gave me a couple laughs, but yeah, I'm sorry. Like, it's like every minute of this show, I have to stretch my disbelief like even farther. And it's like, okay, now we're going to a new location. Stretch. I'm like, okay, now there's some new enemies. Stretch. And I'm like, okay, now there's a new bad guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, magical stick that doesn't have any magic. That's funny. You giving her a gun, that makes sense because you're a Yakuza guy. Why is her mom not? I guess because she's old. And like, why does that matter if she changes into a big muscular man? Like, I can't do it.
I knew from the get-go after that, like from the very start of that, I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
So
just nope.
Yeah. If anybody wants nonsensical nonsense, this is the show for you.